So now that the horn's polished, the next thing you want to do is make a staple to hold on the plug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a standard finishing nail, well, kind of a larger one. This one's about 2¼ inches long and kind of thick. And I'm going to snip off the end. If you can't get it with a snipper, you might want to use a hacksaw and just cut it off. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to flatten it out. You can, if you use heat, it works a little better, but it's not necessary. So, you can see it's kind of flat. You can actually leave it round if you want. And then I'm going to bend it. I will take a Sharpie and probably could use a tape. I'm just going to eyeball it and draw a line to make it into thirds. And then I'm going to put it back in the vise. And bend it around, just like so. And I'm going to try this cold, but it normally does better hot. You can twist this around 180 degrees. And it throws in kind of an attractive twist to it. And the other thing you got to do then is file where it's going to go in the wood with any metal file. You don't need one this big, actually. And now you have a functional staple for your horn. So one thing, if you want to add some color to your staple, you can use a torch. Let me get this. So what you do is you take it and heat it up till it turns like a bluish color. Now this step, if you don't have a propane torch, is entirely optional. But since I have one, I'm just going to make it look kind of nice. So you can see I have like a bluish color. and then cool it off. Kind of makes it look semi-attractive. So what you want to do is take the board that you used to cut the plug out, and I did the same thing when I shaped the plug. I put a rag in there and stick the horn down in there, and that'll kind of secure it. And then I'm going to take a rule and go from my 2 tack holes and draw a line, and then measure your staple. And then measure this. So you have to do some quick math or some good eyeball work if you're like me. That's correct. And then you're just going to mark where your holes go. And to get an accurate marks, I always take it and lightly tap it. And now I have 2 holes there. And then I'm going to take a drill with a 1/16 drill bit. I'm going to go in about 3/8 of an inch. That way I'm not going all the way through. And make sure your drill bit's tight in the chuck. And then now that you got that done, the next thing I'm going to do is do the final sanding on this plug before I install the staple, because it'll be, well, I'll verify the staple will go in. You can see it aligns with those holes pretty good. And I'm going to sand the plug a while and get that perfectly sanded before I install the staple. So now that the pilot holes are drilled and the plug is all polished up, the next thing you want to do is put the staple in. Now I'm going to cheat here because I really want to make sure it's not going to come out, and just put a little bit of super glue on it, and then just simply line up the holes. And get it in a 1/4 inch or so, trying to not hit the plug you just polished. And that should be good. I'm going to wipe the glue off. And now you can see the horn has the ability to hold a strap. I'm now going to put my tacks in. So I'm going to use these little tacks that I used as temporary ones. Drive them in a ways. And snip it off once it's in deep enough. I'm then going to take a fine file file them, or I think I can even and that's, I would say, looking pretty good.